Today is a cozy rainy day and I thought it would be perfect for making some amethyst crystal soaps. The materials I'm using are a clear melt and pour soap base, some soap fragrance. You'll also need 3 pigments, black, white and purple. I have some holographic eco glitter, some rubbing alcohol in a spray bottle, and silicone crystal molds. To create the mold, I'll be sacrificing this crystal cluster to replicate the natural formation of the crystal. If I cast it exactly as it is, it'd be very difficult to remove it from the mold. So I'm going to modify the shape with some clay. I'm extending the crystal to be completely level along the bottom edge. The bottom edge should be the widest part so that it can be easily removed from the mold. I'm also adding some little bits of clay in the hard to reach crevices on the top. Any deep spots could get stuck in the mold, so I'm filling them in with the clay, and then I sprayed a little bit of rubbing alcohol on the top to remove any of my fingerprints. But I'm coating the top of the crystal with clear nail polish so that the clay blends in with the texture of the crystal. Silicone is amazing at capturing texture, so I don't want any of those clay spots to be noticeable. I sprayed everything with mold release to make it easier to remove. I then mixed up a 2-part silicone and poured it onto the crystal, and it set within 20 minutes. I'm roughly chopping and carving some of the base into these small, irregular gemstone shapes, and I'm just going to put these aside for later. The easiest way to melt this soap is in small increments in the microwave, but I don't have a microwave, so I'm going to boil it on a double boiler. If you chop it into small pieces, it'll melt faster. Into my double boiler, I've placed a small amount of the clear soap base, as well as a pinch of the purple and the black dye. I also added a few drops of my fragrance. Now that it's melted, I'm just going to pour it into the molds and swirl it around a little bit so that it gets into all the little crevices and points of the crystal. Before it sets, I'll place some of these small crystal chips that I created earlier into the mold. The second layer is the remnants of the purple soap that was left over from the first layer, and I've added a few cubes of clear soap and I'm just pouring that in as my next layer. For the next layer, I'm melting just clear soap and give it a spritz of rubbing alcohol in between each layer to pop any bubbles and to also help the layers stick to each other. I'm slowly turning my home into a collection of functional things which are also very beautiful. Your average day is how you spend the majority of your life. So I want to be living in a home that's full of objects that inspire me and make me feel creative and joyful. And that was the main inspiration for making this soap. For the next layer, I'm using clear soap and black pigment. Up until this point, I want the layers of purple and clear to blend into each other, but for the black layer, I want a crisp line. So I'm going to put these in the fridge for a little while to cool, so that when I pour the black on, it's not going to seep through all the layers. The soap is fully set in these molds, so next I'm going to pour the black layer. For the final layer, I just remembered that I have this glitter, so I sprinkled a little on the inside. I don't want it to be visible from the outside, but I'm thinking that as I use the soap a few times, it'll start to peek through and I'll get little bits of glitter on my skin. The final layer is a clear light grey colour. Someone on TikTok suggested that I should sell these soaps, and I would rather sell you the mold so that you can make your own and you can make as many as you like. So I've made 3 molds that are ready to ship. If you'd like to get your hands on one, the link is in the description box. If you're interested in making another magical item for your bathroom, check out my tutorial where I show you how to make geode bath bombs. See you there!